we are going to be getting into a 1 second hack. All right, you guys, it is going to be the 1 second rule for introverts. It's gonna be good today. Gonna be good. First things first, you guys, what I want you to know is that you can win things. One person every week wins something. And all that you have to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment on YouTube videos, and then share the YouTube videos in social media. Tag myself or my business page in it so I know that you did that. And one person every week just gets a little shoulder tap and says, hey, go to Martha's swag shop and pick something out and we're going to send it to you. So that happens. All right. And that is, if you want to know what the swag shop is all about, just go to withmartha.com, go up to the very top, click on shop, and then you are going to see that swag shop. So there are shirts that say, for such a time as this, right? There are shirts that say, make me a Moses, which is my morning prayer every day. There's all sorts of awesome stuff. There's one that just says warrior, like there's just, it's words to me are extremely important. And so there's apparel and coffee mugs and stuff like that that have these words that really sort of just get us into the mood for our day is my take on it. Okay, so let me go ahead and get that out of there. All right, let me get started. First things first, second thing second. I see you guys over in the live chat. Keep putting your comments and your questions and your awesome go girls, go ahead and do all of that. At the very end, I'm going to circle back and I'm going to go ahead and put some of you up on screen and we're going to talk about what you're saying, okay? So now let's get into the 1 second rule for introverts, okay? This is very simple. I mean, it's 1 second. It's very simple. What we're going to do is, as an introvert, my experience, because I'm an introvert, people are like, what? But you don't look like an introvert. And I'm like, but I'm always home. I don't really leave. I don't really go out into crowds or anything. And if I do, I love people, but then I need to back away. And I have to be I have to get by myself again. Not because I'm rejecting the people around me, but for my own well-being, it's how I recharge. So some people don't really understand the difference between introverts and extroverts. And then there's also ambiverts, right? The difference really, you guys, between introverts and extroverts, it's really, in my opinion, it's really just two. It's just how you recharge. It's not whether you want to be home all day, or if you don't ever want to be around people. That's a little bit different. It's really just how you recharge. So some of us are able to go out and be all sorts of chatty and for me, I love to go speak at live events, being in front of a crowd, being in front of people, it just amps me up in a way that nothing else really can. And I love that. But then I have to recharge by myself, literally in my room by myself, with no other people at all. And that's just kind of how, the battery goes back up again, is by myself. Extroverts, on the other hand, it's not just that they are chatty and everything and that makes them an extrovert. It's because they recharge by being chatty with people, by exchanging energy with other individuals, with other humans, and being with people. So if you have come across friends of yours where you're like, for the love, would you just shut up? I love you so much, but man, could you just be quiet? The likelihood is that you're an introvert and they're an extrovert. And what's going on is this. You're both, they're trying to recharge and you're like, I need to recharge. And that's really what's going on. So anyway, just a little lesson on introverts and extroverts. Some people call them ambiverts, and that's basically being an extrovert out in public and then recharging as an introvert. To me, that's still just an introvert. But whatever we want to call it is what we call it. Who cares, right? So let's go ahead and jump into the 1 second rule, okay? For introverts, this is a really big deal. So the 1 second rule is this. When you're in public, or when you're getting ready to make a decision. The introvert part of this is more about being in public and seeing somebody that you want to build a relationship with, or a business relationship with, or a friendship with, or a connection with. The introvert, right? Tell me if this is you. The introvert looks at that scenario and says, I want to, but also like, I don't want to. I would also just like to be on my merry way, and not really talk to people. I'm the girl that sometimes walks around Target with headphones on. There's nothing in my headphones. I'm listening to nothing. I just don't really want people to talk to me. I think there are some of us that are just simply that way, right? And I'm recharging, So, and then people will look like they're talking at you and I'm like, I don't know. And then I just keep going. There's a hack. So anyway, the 1 second rule here, you guys, is if you see somebody in front of you, and maybe it's somebody that you really wanted to meet. Maybe it's like a celebrity or something. And then maybe it's somebody that you want to align your businesses with. Maybe it's somebody that you just want to make a connection with because you dig them as an individual, as a person. You're always just one connection away from extreme growth. Really, that's the truth, guys. So whenever we're out in public, and you see somebody, instead of being your introvert self and saying, I would like to meet them, also I don't really want to say anything, you have 1 second to think, I don't really want to, go do it. That's your 1 second rule. You have 1 second, one count, to think to yourself, nope, go do it. Because here's the thing, is the longer that we let that, I don't really go on in our head, it's going to talk you out of anything. And so don't let that happen and move forward. Do the thing, right? The person that you have right in front of you, you won't always have that opportunity, especially as an introvert when you're sitting in your house most of the time. You know what I'm saying? You're not always going to have the opportunity of this individual who's right in front of you. Here's the deal. God puts people around us and in front of us to come across our path. But if we take no action, nothing happens from that. But it could have been something very beautiful, could have been something very cool, and you missed it because you were just relying on old tendencies. So change your tendencies. Here's the way to change your tendencies. Only allow yourself to think that for 1 second and then move. Okay? Like you just simply move. But that's like, it's something that it's muscle memory. You'll get used to it. You'll get used to doing it. I think that it's also valuable to do that. Like this is introverts or extroverts. It's also valuable to do that, you guys, in decision making. So if you're making a decision and you feel in your gut, or you've got your God nudge, you know what that is? Like where you feel like you're almost like being pushed forward, like go do that thing, go do that thing. If you're getting that, and then you go into over-analysis, and you go into, yeah, but, allow that for 1 second and move. Listen, these God nudges that we have are just that. That's my opinion based on my experience. I'm not saying this like I'm telling some sort of fictional story. I'm saying this based on my own experience. When I have a God nudge and I move, that's where it happens. So I just added business strategists to our business, right? People that are going to be able to like help it's going to be freaking fantastic. But I had been going over this for almost a year now. And I could have at any point been like, okay, now is the time. Okay, now is the time. Okay, now is the time. But here's the thing. I sat back and I waited for the God nudge. Okay? I didn't just take off without the nudge. Because I don't do things just on my own. I allow myself to be guided to do the things that need to be done, because I can't build all of this stuff on my own. I follow guidance, you know? And the God that I follow guidance from ain't wrong and has always led me in the right direction, whether I understood it at the time or not. So when you feel the God nudge, allow yourself to think, yeah, but for 1 second, and then move. Do it. You're going to be surprised at what happens in your life. Okay, you guys. So there is that. One of the things that was a God nudge for me to create after COVID started, you guys, I had a thing that I had to create. Mike and I looked at each other and we were like, oh my gosh, like what should we do here? Because we had built these multiple income streams around ourselves. We were like moving and grooving. We were just, like working from home, doing what we wanted to do, going on vacations, and like, no, not at the very beginning of that, of course, but we were doing things that we've always wanted to do as a family. We were making decisions we always wanted to be able to make as a family. We wanted to, there's just so many things that we were able to do. And so whenever we saw the beginning of that happening, we looked at each other and we saw people losing their jobs. I'm like going back to the moment right now. We saw people losing their jobs and losing everything, quite frankly. And he and I looked at each other. I remember the day. I remember the sun coming through the window. I remember we were both standing up. And we just looked at each other and said, we have to help other families. We have to help other people do this. Because nobody else is. If not us, who? If not now, when? Right? And so we created HBR, which is Home-Based Revolution. And it's where we pull back the curtain on our own business. But it's not just you do business like us. It's the template and the framework for you to inject yourself, your passion, what you love into creating these multiple income streams around yourself and living in service to the world. And being able to do what you want when you want, quite frankly, financial independence, right? From the system, from everything. You can make decisions that not everybody gets to make, right? But that's on you. And so you take the step into doing it. And what that is, you guys, is HBR, so Home-Based Revolution. The way that you jump into that is you go to Livin the Dream with Martha, which is my Facebook business page. You just message me the word, let's do this, rainbows and unicorns, whatever you want to message me. We'll go over the details of the program. And then you're going to be in or out, no big deal. Understand that very soon it's going up to 10K. Deservedly so, because there's so much that's being added to it. Some would say it's already worth 10K. But right now, before it goes up, you can get it at $14.97. And I'm just trying to pull in as many people as possible at $14.97, because when it goes up, like it's not, I'm letting everybody know to make sure that everybody knows. So there is that. Okay. Now let me see what you guys are saying. Cindy, I'm an introvert activator. I ask a question when I step back and watch the introverts start talking. They just needed someone to start. Oh, I love that. Carrie, I love your heart for people. I think we all inherently have a good heart for people. I think we do. It's just we have to be allowed to live in that space. Misty, thank you for deciding to help us. Oh, I love you. Okay, you guys, you have the best day, and I'm going to see you later. Bye-bye.